Welcome to another episode of the Brown Couch Bros, your go-to Detroit sports podcast.
That's right. I'm your boy Jess, a.k.a. A-Game. We're here to bring the latest and the greatest from the D, the 313.
And it's your boy, The Loaf, ready to dive right into the heart of Detroit sports with two of my guys, the Honcho and the A-Game.
Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, PSL Sports, Michigan State, we got you covered.
We'll break down the games, analyze the stats, and give you the hot takes that you didn't know you needed.
Plus, we bring you some amazing guests, legends of the game, Detroit historians, here to share their insights and stories.
So grab a seat on the couch, kick back, and let's get into the action.
Here we go.
Welcome to another episode of the Brown Couch Bros.
Brown Couch Bros, we back again, man. We had a couple of weeks off, so we back.
We back.
We back, man. Brown Couch Bros. We had to let the other show marinate a little bit because it was an epic show. It was fire. Fire, bro. It was fire, man. So we wanted everybody to absorb all that, man. But welcome back to the Brown Couch. The Loaf, the Honcho, your boy A-Game. So here we go.
Hey, in customary fashion.
Oh, yes.
Always
nice little toast here.
Yeah.
Nice little toast.
Over there to the strong side over there.
Nice little toast.
That's right.
Wow, I ain't take a sip. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. It won't be right if you don't sip.
It ain't right. It won't be right.
A toast is not a toast until you sip.
That's right. Man, let's go.
All right, fellas. So what y'all got for your tip-off? Jess, let's get started with you.
Man, so my tip-off, man, is a shout-out. And here we go again. Adding trophies to the trophy case of Cass Tech. The Cass Tech boys for 2025 PSL champions. It may not sound like a lot to a lot of people, but y'all got to know Western won the last 15. Ooh. And they won 17 of the last 20.
Dominance.
And Cass stepped up this year. The other day they won 6-1, beating Western. And then both teams are getting ready for the state. So, shout out to PSL baseball, inner city. Detroit trying to represent, man. Shout out to Coach Melvin Jackson, Malik Jackson. Shout out to y'all. They was 15-8-1, won the game when it counted.
Nice.
Got out there and beat Western, man. Had 4 seniors on the team. They all going to school. 3 of them going to HBCUs, 3 of the 4. So that was big. And they reloading. Cass is reloading, man. Shout out to Christopher Hooper, who's an 11th grader, who's going to be the king of their team next year. He's going to be the captain, and he's going to set the stage, man. So a repeat might be in their future.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So they gunning. They gunning, man. So shout out to them guys, man.
Get up for the technician, young technician.
Another trophy in the trophy case, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Parents, y'all keep them going. And everybody, my man Lonnie, shout out to you and what your son is doing. But yeah, man. Hey, it was big, man. It was big for the PSL. Changing of the guard, so to speak. But we'll see,
We'll see.
Western ain't gonna, they ain't going to take it lightly. They ain't going to take it lightly.
I mean, they won 15 out of the last 17, right?
They won 17 out of the last 20, but the last 15 straight.
Wow.
Woo.
Dominant.
Yeah,
Dominance
man.
right there.
Yeah.
Dominance.
So that was big. So shout out to Western. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Get ready for the state. Same with Cass Tech. Get ready for the states. I think that starts up right after the holiday. So kudos and good luck to everybody involved, man. Shout out to PSL baseball coming back in the city.
And shout out to Lisa Phillips, principal at Cass. Outstanding principal.
Love Miss Phillips.
One of the last of the greats who really support all the programs, both academic and athletic programs. So shout out to her doing an outstanding job as principal at Cass.
Yes, sir.
What you got, Loaf, for your
Man, I
tip?
got a little somber moment right now, man. I want to give a big shout out or praise and my condolences to Stan Edwards, former Michigan All-American running back, played for the Detroit Lions. Son Braylon Edwards, first round pick, Cleveland Browns back in the day. Stan lost his father a couple of weeks ago. And I read it in an article. I didn't even know how great the man was until I read the article. Listen to some of the stuff Stan had said and Braylon had said. He was a Miller high school graduate.
Okay.
Played up under the great
Will Robinson.
Will Robinson, learned up under Will Robinson. So my condolences to the Edwards family. And this on another note, this is a little humorous. Stay out of people's business when they putting salt on their food.
Hold on, what happened, man?
co-worker of mine. Co-worker of mine now. I don't use a lot of salt, but you can't eat fries without salt, right? I'm putting salt on my French fries.
Yeah.
She say, Webb, that's enough salt.
From where? Where was she at?
Right there. She was everybody else standing around.
All in your business.
All in my business. You got your food. Let me get mine. I like a little salt on my fries.
How many shakes of salt did you put though? Two. Oh,
It was heavy. You was heavy-handed?
Okay, two shakes.
You a little heavy-handed with it?
Yeah, 2 shakes is good. 2 shakes is
Maybe
good.
3. But yeah. Let folks put on their food what they want. That's my tip off.
Well, quick tip off for me. 2 weeks ago, I was in the gym doing jumping jacks. Tweaked my knee. Doing jumping jacks.
Yeah.
This is my second old man injury. It's time.
Just gonna start calling you the tip man.
A routine jumping jack.
Routine jumping jack.
You gotta oil up before you go.
Man, I went to the doctor. I told the doctor what happened. Man, gonna tell me.
Don't tell me you got a torn meniscus.
No, not a torn meniscus. Not a torn meniscus. No. That'll end my golf season for the year. I can't have that.
No, you can actually play. You can play with a torn meniscus.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I ain't doing nothing but walking and swinging anyway.
Right.
I'll be all right with that. I know I'm bone on bone anyway. Cartilage ain't left in these knees at all. But man, the guy told me that jumping jacks for a guy my age is high impact. That's high impact.
You still a young man.
I mean, that's what I thought.
That's what the science said.
That's what I thought.
That's what the science said.
That's what I thought. The guy told me I was out my mind. Said, stop doing jumping jacks. Your jumping jack career is over.
So the last thing you're gonna do is go for a rebound.
Oh yeah, well, that happened when I was 40. So when I turned 40, I went to the gym. I said, I'm turning 40. I'm gonna see if I can still dunk. Pop. Ooh. All the knee, the hole, all that in the knee.
And the weasel went.
tore my quadricep.
My cousin did. I had a cousin. Shout out to Mike. One of my cousins, he playing basketball a couple of years ago, trying to play. And he went up, came down. I think he tore both his meniscus. Both. At the same time. Could have been a little bit worse, I think. But I know his meniscus was torn. Both of them, both legs.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over. I now officially know it's over. I'm a golfer who can walk, ride a bike, and do a light jog. And that's it. It's over for me.
Yeah. So look. I know I got a torn meniscus in my right knee. I know it.
Right now?
Oh yeah, right now. Oh yeah. I can't wait to get up off the couch. I got to do some walk around. But man, it's just a part of life, man. It's part of getting old. Good thing that we are all successful enough. We have insurance. We go see these doctors, man. We gotta go. We gotta go represent. Hey, doc, what I got?
But listen, man, old guys out there, it's over for us, man.
Like you would say,
if you 50,
careful.
Be careful.
That's what's up.
All right,
man.
fellas. Well, it's game time. I thought we'd start game time today with some Tiger baseball. Don't look now. I know I say that every time, but don't look now. The Tigers are in first place in the AL Central.
Tigers have the best record, and probably right now are the best team
in baseball.
In all of baseball.
That's right.
I think they're coming in at 33-17. Pitching has been outstanding. The manager's pulling all the right buttons, pushing all the right buttons. They lost 3 center fielders. They put Ibanez out there. He's doing this thing. We had kind of washed him out.
We wrote him off.
Yeah.
We did write him off. We did write him off.
So Torque is stepping up this year. Tigers playing great ball, man. As a matter of fact, as we speak, they playing Cleveland right now. So if we can win this series this weekend, win 2 out of 3, we have them by 7.5. I think we up by 6 right now.
Yeah, put some distance.
Put some distance. If we keep playing the way we playing by the All-Star break, this division could be wrapped up. I'm thinking
by the All-Star game.
Yeah. If the Tigers are up 10, 12 games by All-Star break, it's going to be hard
to catch anybody to catch them.
I mean, we'll win the division for sure.
Yeah.
We'll win the division for sure.
Yeah.
So, hey, Hinch just got to keep on pushing the right buttons, and I think we're going to be all right.
Staying healthy is going to be big. got to do that. Although they are battling through some injuries already. Like I said, they done went through 3 center fielders.
Parker Meadows is coming back.
So, he's about to fall into a situation where he's going to have too much talent. And he's going to have to pull the strings. He's going to have to pull it. Mm-hmm. And I think he can. AJ Hinch is a World Series champion. So he's done it before. So I'm confident that they do have one of the best teams in baseball right now, man.
They do.
It's big to see. It's big to see for the city.
What do you think the difference is this year as opposed to last year? They came on late last year. They were steady, but they came on late last year. What do you think the difference is this year?
Me personally, I think the difference is last year they thought they could win. This year they know they can win. With the talent coming back, they've always had, over the last couple of years, one of the best farm systems in the league as far as talent-wise. And these pitchers that they're bringing up, Mize and Flaherty and those guys, they groomed them through the system. And now they're ready to go out here and set the world on fire. So I think the mindset is we know we can win instead of we think we can win. Yeah.
Well, I think one of the biggest differences is that the young guys that you depended on, Torkelson was a 1-1 drafted, and he's coming through now.
Yeah.
So that definitely helps. With Baez, we, like you said, we wrote him off a few years ago. Last year, any year that he's been with the Tigers,
he hasn't been good, right?
And now he's stepping up. He did have hip surgery, so the hip might have been worse off. In the old man, in the old man surgery,
man.
It might have been worse off than we thought. And now he's better. And it's just timely baseball, timely hitting, timely pitching. I think they still gonna need a closer down the stretch, just for giggles. Mm-hmm. Get you a closer and somebody that that's gonna lock down the ninth. But outside of that, AJ Hinch is pushing, like you say, pushing all the right buttons, man. I think it's good for the Tigers.
So when do you think, for our casual fans and casual listeners out there, when should they start paying attention to the Tigers? I mean, it's 160 games. Mm-hmm. It's a long season. Summer's long.
It's a great question.
When should they start paying the casual fan? Mm-hmm. When should the casual fan start to pay attention to the team?
Well, I'm gonna say buy your gear now. Buy your gear. Start buying your gear now. First of all, buy your gear now.
Yeah.
Right after 4th of July. Right after 4th of July, once you get to August 1st, it's time. It's time because you figuring you got all of August, September, people jockeying, and then playoffs start. So enjoy the summer, get to the 4th of July, go to your cookouts, have a good time, wear what you want to wear. But after that, you got to be in Tiger gear, man.
Yeah.
You got to be in Tiger gear.
I agree. Between July 4th and August 1, that's when people really should start being more engaged if you're a baseball or a casual fan.
Yeah.
As far as looking at the scores, looking on your phone, stuff like that. Yeah, I agree with that. July 4th through August 1, that's when you should really get engaged.
So basically what you're saying now, and you're talking about, how difficult it's going to be for teams to catch the Tigers if they're up at least 10 games by the All-Star break. We could be seeing in August, September, Tiger baseball and Lions football in the same day, downtown Detroit.
Yep.
Absolutely. That's going to be what they say. Fire.
Yeah, right, exactly. Absolutely, you can.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's what the city is waiting on too.
Yeah,
they waiting to erupt on that, man. You got training camp going, so we'll hear the odds and ends of the bits and pieces of who's doing what in training camp for football. You get that taste, then you go check the Tigers score, see what they doing. I mean, you're gonna get an earful. You're gonna get an earful, and it's gonna be timely. I'm
telling you, look at the schedule and see who the Lions play Labor Day weekend and see who the Tigers play. If they both playing at home, it's gonna be crazy.
Crazy,
crazy.
It's gonna be crazy.
Man, shout out to the Tigers for that, man. That, like I say, best team in baseball right now, man.
90 wins at least.
People, people underestimate this, but I think this is real. I think winning breeds winning. Started with the Lions a few years ago.
Yeah.
Really coming from the bottom of their division and really one of the laughingstocks of the NFL. To change that culture and start winning and expect to win, to your point, but then you turn around and now the Pistons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Win. Take their team to the playoffs. Make noise in the playoffs. Now the Tigers. So winning breeds winning.
You know what else that breed? Free agents that want to come here and play.
Oh, for
in
sure.
a organization.
For sure.
And what you're going to touch on, a small market city, quote unquote. You know, and I go back to it again when you asked the question, I don't know, maybe 10 episodes ago of the Brown College Bros, can we afford 4 teams here? You know, you asked that question. And you got winners. You know, we got to get the Red Wings on board. Stevie Y got to get that ship. You got to get that ship going. And then if we do that, all bets are off. This might be the spot.
Title Town. Might be title.
Mark that down.
Wouldn't that be something?
Write that down.
Man.
So speaking of small market teams, let's get into some NBA. I want to welcome y'all to the new era of NBA basketball. Right now in the playoffs is the Final Four. New York, OKC, Minnesota, and Indiana.
3 of the 4, like you said.
3 of the 4 out of small market teams. We're going to have a brand new champion. No repeat champions. Over the last 7 years,
Right.
there hasn't been a repeat champion in the NBA. No LeBron in this Final Four. No Steph Curry. No James Harden. No Kevin Durant. The stars of yesteryear are now starting to subside a bit. We're starting to see chinks in the armor a little bit. But now this new crop of NBA stars are starting to emerge. Ant-Man is must-see TV in Minnesota.
Absolutely.
Brunson
is must-see TV in New York.
Halliburton getting there.
Halliburton with the choke sign last night.
He there. He might be there.
All-star. SGA.
MVP of the league.
MVP of the league. Out of small market teams. This is the new NBA. This is what the league wanted the whole time. We are here and now in the era of parity.
I was just about to say that.
Anybody can win it any year, any franchise, in any city.
Well, look what the Pistons did. Who expected them? And actually, they should have won that series.
Should have.
They should have won that series.
And we be talking about Cade Cunningham.
Right. Cade Cunningham. So to your point, the new breed, the young bucks, they here. Durant, Curry. I'm not saying they're not gonna make their mark eventually again, but you know, they're all about the super friends. These guys is coming up through the system. The teams that they with drafted them. They're building around them. They adding pieces to that. Just like the Pistons should add pieces to Cade. So to your point, the parity and what the league wants, small market teams, they coming.
So you're right about that. Charlotte did get rid of SGA and to move him to where he got moved to.
Well, it was LA, the Clippers.
Yeah.
He came from the Clippers.
He wasn't drafted by Charlotte.
I don't remember who drafted him.
All right,
his last team was the Clippers.
Okay, last team was
fact checkers.
Yeah, we'll fact check that. But you know,
do that. All right, thank you.
So the funny thing about all that is you haven't even named the foreign players. You still got your Lucas. You still have the Jokers. You know what I'm saying? And well, SGA, I guess some
Wemby.
You got Wemby still coming up. So it's about to be a changing of the guards totally. So to your point, what you're saying, get used to a new NBA.
Yeah.
You know, and like you asked about the Tigers, when do you latch on? You know, if you looking for an NBA team, this is the time to latch on to one of the superstars and say, okay, this is my guy, and let it roll out.
Now, mind you, the episode we had when you talk about
fandom, I already know where you're going.
Now don't double back. We got some listeners out there that say, you know what? A couple of episodes ago, he said you can't do that.
But if you don't have a team right now, this is the time to grab you a guy.
Right.
So
if you've never been Oklahoma, what's the last name?
OKC, Thunder. Okay,
Thunder. Never been a Thunder fan. It's time to get on.
It's time to get on now. Grab you a guy. But like you said, man, there's a lot of young guys coming through.
So for the fans, is this what we want? Is this what a fan wants? I mean, I look at it and I say, Man, I love to see the Lakers in the Final Four. I love to see another run from LeBron. You know, see what him and Luka can do deep into the playoffs. But they had their chance. Mm-hmm. I would love to see, another run by KD, another run by Steph, just to see if they can do it and add to their legacies. Does a fan want this new era of the NBA? Or are we still in where are the rivalries?
Exactly.
Where are the dynasties of the Golden State winning back to back and winning, titles and in the finals every year? Is this what we want as fans, or do we want those legacy teams that we have seen in the finals every year?
Well, here's my take on it. To have legacy fans and legacy teams, the players have to stay with that team for a certain amount of time. Like when we were coming up, guys didn't switch teams like they switch now. Mm-hmm. It wasn't any teaming up. Isaiah wanted to beat Boston. Dominique, he didn't leave Atlanta until they get, after so many years.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So when you have rivalries, like they have rivalry week in baseball this week. They had the Tigers playing Toronto. But that rivalry was back in the late 80s. The average fan don't even remember that. Yeah. We do.
Yeah.
But to answer your point, I don't think the average fan really cares about a rivalry, because I think that with this new age, the last 3 MVPs of the NBA all been foreigners, like you mentioned. Mm-hmm. So they really don't have a clue as it pertains to Boston, LA, Detroit, the Knicks. Now, with Reggie Miller sitting on the sideline, Indiana, the Knicks back in the day, he could reverberate that. They had that on the 30 for 30 this week I watched. So if you want to watch a good rivalry, you're going to have to go through a rerun. A 30 for 30.
Yeah.
I think this new brand of basketball, a new brand of sports, these young cats coming up right now, they got to make their own rivalry. In order to do that, you have to have some longevity with your core players on your team to stay together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right about that. So what's going to be interesting this offseason is to watch the older guys jockey for position. And when I say that, you got Giannis may not stay in Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. So where he goes to latch on at, I wouldn't be surprised that if it's going to be with somebody that's still chasing a ring. We got KD that's possibly going to be on the move. KD latch on with somebody. I don't think none of them are going to latch on to none of these new guys. You know what I'm saying? So I think some of the older guys are going to hook back up and try to make another run at it. So we're going to get the best of both worlds. We're going to have the young guys still putting their teams together, still chasing, and then you're going to get some of the older guys getting back together and trying to say, okay, let's make another run at this. So your question was, do we like it? It depends on what side of the fence you're on. Yeah, I think the guys over 35, we want to see some of the old fellas still make the run.
Yeah,
I mean, then the under 35 is like, man, this is the new era.
Yeah, I mean, viewership in the NBA is down, and it's down for a reason. I think it's down because that level of excitement from year to year, in terms of who's going to be the big dogs at the end of the season, was way too predictable for people. You can pencil in Golden State, you can pencil in, LeBron being, you can pencil in, those legacy superstars as I call them, to be in the finals. Mm-hmm. Now you got a brand new crop of guys that, to your point, are gonna have to create their own rivalries. I think you starting to see that with SGA and Ant-Man. This guy told the president that he one of the best.
Yeah,
so I'm a dog. Yeah. He told the president, I'm a dog in front of everybody. He ain't hiding it, right? And so I think it's starting to move in that direction. We're gonna get some rivalries. We're gonna get some repeat champions soon, because this young crop in their 20s, as young as they are, and they're staying with their teams. Re-upping, getting that
monopoly money.
That monopoly money, that max deal, that play money. They're getting it from the teams that they're at.
Well, we used to call it stupid money.
And they're getting that money in places like Minnesota.
Right.
You look at OKC, you do know that they've had 3 NBA MVPs.
Harden, Westbrook.
No, Westbrook, Durant, and now SGA. Remember, Harden won his when he was in Houston.
Yeah. Right.
In Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Right. Oklahoma, man.
Yeah.
Not New York, not LA, not Chicago. Mm-hmm. So we're starting to see this new era. And I hope that we don't get the super team situation with these young guys.
With the young guys.
Right. I really want to see these young guys stay where they are and build from there. Yeah. Because you realize now that, I can win anywhere because they got me. They got me.
Yeah, that's a good point. Great point.
And so I think that is what the NBA wanted. And I think that's also what viewers wanted to see.
You want to see something new, man. It's like, definitely when we were coming up, it was always Boston Lakers, Boston Philly Lakers. It got repetitive, but they had the superstars, they had the teams. Yeah. Now, what you're seeing is, like you just said, young guys, SGA, Cade Cunningham.
I was gonna say, there's some guys
out there.
Young guys that's not even in the Final Four.
Jalen Green, coming up, still those guys. Up. So they're gonna, like you said, and the reason they're not gonna leave is because, like you just said, the money. Yeah. When you're talking about paying a guy $245 million for 5 years, you're not going nowhere. It's all guaranteed money. You're gonna add some pieces to make the team better, like the Pistons should do. Add a piece or two, and go from there. And that way, 2-3 years down the line, now you've been together 5 years. Mm-hmm. You've been to Golden States. Mm-hmm. The one thing, the standard that Golden State has set, Steph not going nowhere and Draymond not going nowhere. Yeah. And the coach.
Yeah.
So you got the trifecta right there, and you build around that.
And look, I don't want to give Charles Barkley the credit of saying this because I'm not sure if he said it, but it's banks in every city. every check cash. You know what I'm saying? So you can stay wherever you want to stay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So again, like I said, I don't know if it was him, but I do remember a player saying, man, it's a bank in every city.
When we were coming up watching sports, it was we had those rivalries and you had your people you rooted for and you rooted against. It was easy to root for or against the Yankees, right? It was easy to root for against the Cowboys or, people hated Mike, particularly in Detroit. People hated Mike. It was easy to root against Mike. Even LeBron. Easy for people to root against LeBron and not want the Lakers to win and et cetera. But this next group of guys, man, who hates Ant-Man? Who hate SGA? Right. Jalen Brunson. Who hates Jalen Brunson? I mean, here, because of what happened with the Pistons and the flopping and all of that.
You don't hate him.
But it's hard to hate him. It's hard to hate him.
Is it a... I know we're not talking about the WNBA.
Well, I mean...
Is it that kind of hate? Is it Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark hate?
And that's not hate.
That's not hate. That's a whole nother...
That's not hate.
I feel some type of way about that.
But these are likable. These are likable guys. And so it's hard to sort of root against them. And I think, sports also becomes a microcosm of society. We raising a bunch of kids now who... This is all inclusive. They all play with each other. Nobody necessarily roots against each other. You're
right about that.
They don't like when you hate on other people. They root for everybody. They want everybody to win. And it's what sometimes as athletes and as competitors is what we hate, but it's also what we love because these kids are in this next generation are a little more inclusive and friendly and that sort of thing. So it's really a microcosm of what we see in society right now. It's playing itself out in sports.
Yeah, he right about that.
But you never caught me calling up a rival or somebody that I knew that I was gonna have to compete against and asking him questions or even congratulate me.
Me neither.
Maybe at the end of the year, hey man, you know, even at the handshake line.
I was about to say, you don't do the handshake line. What's going on?
Okay, whatever. Yeah, good game. But it's a different time, man. It's a different time.
I didn't say
so
nothing.
now it's bro hugs. Bro hugs.
Oh, now
going through the handshake line.
Hugging each other.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's no more walking off the court. I ain't shaking your hand. None of that.
No, they ain't doing that.
None of that.
They ain't doing that.
Man.
Well, we had our first little dust up in the WNBA. You mentioned it just a minute ago with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. First of all, the WNBA season is off to a good start. It is. Viewership is up. Unlike the NBA, viewership in the WNBA is up.
I'm watching.
I've been watching.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It's interesting to see who's in the audience at WNBA games now. So those same groups of celebrities and folks who were coming to the NBA games are now starting to be at the WNBA games too.
Yep.
And so the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese foul. What are your thoughts on that? Real hate, fake hate, good hard foul.
No, I was about to say good hard foul.
Good hard foul within the confines of the game. You don't let nobody get a easy lay.
Right.
Like that. So, what are your thoughts?
I thought it was a slight overreaction for Angel. I did. It's a basketball. You get up, go to the line, shoot your free throws. And that's how I saw it. I don't know if her mentality was, to get more eyes on the league to do that. I don't know if it's hate for her. I mean, yeah, you probably didn't want to get hit like that. And then when you did realize who it was, then that triggered like, oh, I don't like you like that, So I thought it was blown out of proportion. I thought, like I said, I think Caitlin handled it well. Like, look, it was a hard foul. It was a take foul, is what they called it. And that's what it was. I think Angel, after it was all said and done, I think she played it the right way after the fact, when she was like, listen, it's not what you're making it, and moved on. Now, this is all going to escalate to the next time they play. So we need to see what it is. But I thought it was blown just a little bit more than what it should have been. I thought it was a good hard foul.
I agree. I thought it was a good hard foul, but I also think that if UNESCO would have made that foul or Beckers would have made that foul, she wouldn't have reacted the way she reacted. And I say that to say that she doesn't like Caitlin Clark, period. You can call it hate or...
I wouldn't say hate.
Okay.
I just don't like it.
She don't like her.
Yeah, we don't vibe.
And when you get into the commentary, the Cam Newtons, Ryan Clark, RG3.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I felt what RG3 was saying. I think Ryan Clark took it a little bit too personal. Or when you bring a man's wife and kids into the scenario, I just think that was a little bit too much.
He could have made his point without going
there.
Yeah.
And then RG3 said some things that he shouldn't have had to say. But as far as the play, hard foul, I don't think that she would have reacted if it was anybody else. I don't think she would have reacted that way.
Yeah, I don't disagree that she would have reacted differently if it was another player. I also think that she's a fierce competitor. Angel Reese is a fierce competitor. And if in the back of her mind, you don't think that she's thinking, I'm just as significant in this league as you are.
Well, she said
and the light is on me, but the light shines brighter on you. And I'm not necessarily getting the just due that I deserve or other players that look like me deserve.
Yeah.
Then you out your mind if you don't think that woman was thinking that. She for sure was thinking that. And there is some animosity, but I don't think it's hate.
No, I don't think.
I don't think it's hate. I think it's the feeling of being slighted, and the feeling that one person's significance to this league is all that people are talking about, and other people's significance to this league is being brushed to the side. You got white women, black women, young WNBA players seasoned NBA players. You got folks like Asia Wilson, like, what about me? I'm the best player in the league.
Yeah, I'm the best player.
Nobody's talking about me at all.
Right.
I've been carrying this league for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Even people like Donna Taurasi before she left. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've been carrying this league for a long time. And so that sort of animosity has to exist in this. To add to all of that are the comments that were made by the fans in Indiana.
Wow.
The racial slurs and epithets that were launched at Angel Reese and her teammates during that time. So you saw that the WNBA and the Indiana Fever come out with statements saying, that they're gonna investigate this, they admonish anything like that. The WNBA is no place for hate and all that sort of thing. So a lot of that has to play a role in it too. We learned this during the Fab Five documentary.
Oh yeah.
You wouldn't have told me that all of the death threats and those letters that the Fab Five were getting, those with those racial undertones to them, I would have never guessed it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like we don't know the things that are being said to people like Angel Reese in games, letters that she's getting, DMs, all that stuff. So all those things, I think, play a part in her getting a rebound, getting fouled hard by somebody that may be representative of the hate that she's receiving in other areas and other entities around the game.
And do you think by being the person that fouled her, that made the difference? Because like I said, if Beckers would have fouled her, UNESCO would have fouled her hard, Taurasi would have fouled her hard, would her reaction been the same?
No, I think it's really just what Caitlin Clark represents.
And we got
in her mind, in Angel Reese's mind, because this battle, this back and forth has been going on for years.
Oh, this just didn't start. This started in college. This started right here.
Beyond college, they competed against each other in high school.
Mm-hmm.
These things were there's so much history there, and so I think a lot of people don't understand and realize that this didn't just start happening. And look, Black women feel slighted in America.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
And Angel is representative of that. And you mentioned, if it would have been anybody else. I think there's some part of Angel and other folks who feel like because Caitlin Clark has this platform, that she should do more with it in uplifting others. And I think that has a small piece to do with it as well. Paige Beckers came out when she won Player of the Year, it was a year ago or so, she won Player of the Year.
Absolutely.
And she talked about, hey, I really owe this to the Black women that came before me who have really held this game up and made space for me and my success. Mm-hmm. And so let's not lose sight of that.
She read the room is what she did.
For sure.
She read the room.
But she's also been raised by a Black woman. Her father,
that's true.
His wife is Black. So there's that.
Yeah. Yeah. So so you're right about it, man. On what you were just saying. Angel, like you say, she feels slighted. And she's every night she goes out there, just like many Black women in the society has to do. I got something to prove every time I go out.
Right.
And I think that's where we at. And like you said, sports is a microcosm of society.
For sure. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Clearly.
It's always going to be racism in sports.
Always.
Yeah. It's
always going to be racism in sports.
But not necessarily hate. Just racism.
Just racism.
Well, we got some, you want to touch on something from one of our listeners?
Man. All right, Jamel Johnson, man. He posed, and you know him as
my man Dre.
You know him as
man Dre.
So, Fantasy League football guy, man. That's with us. He put out a question, and he wanted us to rank these coaches, NFL coaches. So the 4 coaches were McVay, Mike Tomlin, Shanahan.
Let them know the team, so
Dan Campbell.
Get a perspective.
So Shanahan, San Francisco, Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh, Dan Campbell, Detroit Lions, and who I leave out? Oh, McVay, the Los Angeles Rams. So he was ranking these 4 coaches, and we had a gentleman's dispute, and I just wanted to bring it to the Brown Couch to see what our listeners thought. If you can rank those 4 coaches 1 through 4, who is the best coaches out that group? And him and I again disagreed. He had Dan Campbell as number 1. I think he had Campbell 1, Tomlin 2, and a tie with Shanahan and McVay. And I had a problem with that because I didn't have Dan Campbell as 1. So we went back and forth, and then we just, shut it out. We agreed to disagree. Mm-hmm. So my question to y'all on the Brown Couch, what you guys think?
Ain't no way Dan Campbell's number 1.
Dan Campbell was number 4.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. And I love Dan, but he hadn't won anything.
He hadn't won nothing.
It's a real Homer response to me.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about the best, you got to, winning has to be a part of it. So if we ain't talking about Tomlin at 1, then what we talking about?
Right. And when you brought up the topic, right off the top of my head, Mike Tomlin, he's all-time winningest coach in Pittsburgh Steelers history. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He won 1. He's never had a losing season.
Come on, man.
What are we talking about? Why is Dan Campbell? I wouldn't even put Dan Campbell in that. I would have just left.
You went with the top 3.
And Dan Campbell, he building something here. Yeah. We went 9-8, 12-5, 15-2.
We ain't there yet.
But we not there yet. We didn't win the NFC Championship. We got eliminated in the first round after going 15-2. Mm-hmm. We was up by 17 in the NFC Championship game
to
Shanahan. At least Shanahan been in a Super Bowl. McVay has won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So
and was in the NFC Championship last year.
In the NFC Championship.
Now to his
and McVay's been to 2. Won 1, lost 1.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so Tomlin, who hasn't actually won a playoff game in the last few, X amount of years. I don't have a number on it. But with that being said, I look at his roster. What quarterback has he had? I thought he's had bum quarterbacks these last 5-7 years. Mm-hmm. And still in the playoffs. Yeah. I think he in a division that's tough. We always talk about Baltimore about this their year.
Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland.
Yeah. So we take Cleveland out, but with them other 3, they're always in the playoffs. So that's what my gripe was. I was like, man, I start with Tomlin before I even talk about any of the other 3. And so my 4 was Tomlin, McVay, Shanahan, and Campbell.
Right. Mike Tomlin is a Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You have to retire to get in and wait your time, but he's a Hall of Fame coach. He's a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. He's number 1 out of those 4 guys.
Out of those 4.
Yeah, in my opinion.
For all you listeners, we do read your messages you send us. We're going to respond to some posts.
Yeah.
We're going to tell you how we feel about some of the stuff y'all put out there, man. But we want to hear more from our listeners. So just keep them coming. Keep the questions coming and tell us what y'all think. Yeah,
if you got a 4, list those out of those 4. And, we'll respond to it. And, let's keep listening and responding to us, and we'll just keep this going. But it was an interesting topic, man, I thought. And I'm glad, Dre put it out there. So
you know what else we got to talk about? One day we got to talk about this fight that's coming up, man. Crawford Canelo.
Ooh.
September.
Ooh.
It's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big one, man.
We'll be back for that.
Manny Pacquiao is coming back.
Is he?
Sit down, Manny.
He need to sit down.
Old man injuries.
Don't do jumping jacks, Manny. Don't do jumping jacks.
Don't do jumping jacks. Don't try to.
Manny Pacquiao is coming back. You got the Canelo Crawford fight coming up in September. I think it's September 13th. I think somewhere around that time. So we got to get into some boxing, man.
Okay.
A guy had posted something the other day. I read yesterday on Facebook. He said he had Hearns, Hagler, Duran, and and Sugar Ray. And
Duran, Sugar Ray.
Okay.
And he said
that was his 4?
That was his 4. Could Floyd beat any of those 4? And I said to myself, 4 to be on 4.
No.
He'd be on 4.
No.
Out of those 4 boxes.
No, not in my opinion. Not in my opinion. I think it was an era. It was a different era.
It was a different era, man.
In boxing,
different type chin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Different type power.
He couldn't just come in there and just be on defensive mode.
No,
against
he
them guys.
gonna have
No, not against them guys.
Them guys was killers.
No.
Now, you saw what Hearns did to Martin.
Right.
Martin Lawrence.
Saw what he did to Martin. That's what he would have did to Floyd.
Yeah. Tommy, he just hit different. He did.
Yeah. So we talking about boxing, man. I got one more shout out. Last weekend, I had the pleasure of hanging out with my boy Cedric Boswell and Boswell Promotions. They were at Motor City Casino. He had a boxing event that he promoted. His fighter, I can't remember the young man's name, but he fought at welterweight. Knocked this guy out in the 5th round. We had a great time. Shout out to Boswell Boxing Promotions out of Atlanta. But he was here in Detroit, hometown guy, here in Detroit representing the city.
And quick shout out from me. Shout out to Jalen Rose and his event last weekend. He had his golf outing.
Okay.
I was hoping he was going to get a part of that.
Yeah, man. You know what?
His handicap ain't high enough yet.
I was hoping he was going to be a part of it.
I'm on my way.
What the Brown Cops got to donate to get you part
I'm
of
on my
it,
way.
baby?
I'm playing in the next year.
We got to get Jay Rose.
We're gonna put it.
We bring this out there to Jalen Rose.
No, we need Jalen on this couch. You got to come see us. You got to come see us, man. But shout out to him and all the great things he's doing with Jalen Rose Academy.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a huge fundraiser for him and his school to make sure that they're able to provide the necessary resources for teaching and learning to happen in his academy. And so I'm gonna participate next year. I'm in it next year. I'm put together a nice little foursome over there because I saw some guys out there.
You think you can beat? You think he can beat?
You gonna take BB Cross?
I don't know. We're gonna see.
Heavy hitters.
Yeah, we gonna see. We gonna see. I got a lot of guys to choose from.
Yeah.
A lot of guys to choose from. But we'll put a nice foursome. But shout out to him. And the great things he's doing for kids in the city.
All right. But hey, before we get out of here, please like, share, subscribe, check us out. Go back to last week's episode as well. Detroit Diamond. She's on the circuit. She's on the circuit, man. She did Fox.
Double D, baby. The Double D.
She did CBS. She got a concert May the 30th at the L Club. Her tickets are available on her bio, Detroit Diamond. She's share, like, and check her out on all platforms, man. Shout out to Detroit Diamond. My son and I got our ticket. We'll be there.
I got mine.
And so, you know, I can't wait. You know, we're going to represent the D.
One more thing. With that Detroit Diamond, hey, she's doing 31 songs, man. She's going to rap 31 songs.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
She turned 31. She's doing 31 raps, 31 songs. Also, shout out to the Qs, man. We got a boat ride coming up June 27th through the 29th. That whole weekend, man, on the Detroit Princess. Go to our site, talkkappa.com. Cruise with the Qs. Get all the information there. It's going to be off the chain.
Have a weekend of a good time.
Yeah, and we'll be at Sound Mind, Sound Body at the end of the month. Doing some interviews with some of the coaches and players. Hopefully we can corner Blackwell and get him on real quick.
Get C Black on here, man.
But we'll be on location. The Brown Cops Bros will be on location at Sound Mind, Sound Body Camp. So we're looking forward to it. A lot of great things happening from the couch.
There we go.
And with that, we out of here.
We out of here.
Just in time to finish my drink.